Hi guys, I actually just started this channel as an extension of my blog. So I have a blog, Living Loving Coco, same as the name of my YouTube, but it was really to extend certain things that I may want to talk about instead of writing about. I love to write, which is why I started my blog, but I did feel like there were certain topics that were better conveyed through YouTube or through some kind of video. And so that's why I'm bringing you this video. My first blog topic was, and I started my blog this January of 2018, and it was really about my first year of motherhood, which was last year. Last year, 2017, was my official first year of motherhood. My daughter was born December of 2016, and so she's basically a year and a half now. My very first post was about my delivery, and basically the delivery and the days of me, the first couple days at home with my new baby. You can actually read that if you like. It is pretty long. The first post is pretty long, but what I really wanted to talk about today was me not having breast milk. And how I kind of looked to YouTube or articles to tell me that it was okay, if that makes any sense, or to kind of normalize it for me, the reasons why I didn't have breast milk. So let's start from the beginning. I delivered, so I went in on a Thursday, which was the day after my due date, and it was just a normal routine checkup. Corey, my daughter's name, Corey still wasn't dilated, and the doctor told me to return back on Monday, and if she wasn't dilated still, that they would go ahead and start the inducing process. So this was on a Thursday that I had an appointment. So at this point, I'm 40 weeks and a day. After the appointment, they noticed that I had some protein in my urine. So because of that, she told me to just go make sure everything was okay. The hospital that I was going to actually give birth in was also where the medical office was. So she told me just go check into the hospital, see if everything's okay, let them do a sonogram. They did that, everything was fine. As I'm in the hospital, my blood pressure is going up because now I'm nervous and I'm panicking as to like, oh my God, what's up with this, protein in my urine thing, which had also happened earlier in the pregnancy. So after the sonogram was done, they noticed that my blood pressure was still high and they wanted me to stay. So at this point, they're like, all right, you're staying. And I had nothing prepared. I didn't bring my hospital bag with me. We literally just went in there to have a checkup to say, come back on Monday. That was it. So I had nothing with me. Thankfully, my mom and my dad and my aunt had met us at the appointment. While they were there, doctor is now I'm in the hospital gown. They're moving me into a room. Anyway, things went really fast. So basically, I'm now checked in. It's official. They're going to induce me. So now I'm panicking, of course. So now my blood pressure is high still. Thursday we're there. They started the inducing process with everything that they give you, which I'll put the words below because I can't remember. And Thursday goes by, nothing. Corey's still not dilated. And Friday morning comes and goes. Friday afternoon comes and goes. Now I've been here for a whole day. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I sent my husband to go get the hospital bag and just things that I knew I would need. Friday comes and goes. So now it's Saturday morning, still nothing. And they now gave me another round of those things, and still nothing. So finally my water breaks at like early Saturday. I can't remember what time. I have it documented, but early Saturday, water breaks, still nothing. Corey now probably got to 5 centimeters. I love my doctor because she was not pushing for a C-section. She just said, hey, let's continue waiting. At this point, it's Saturday. I've now been there for 2 days, and I'm tired, and I'm ready to go. I'm like, however Corey could get out, at this point, I don't care. Cut me open. She just needs to come out because I'm tired. Saturday afternoon now, the nurses come rushing in, and they notice that Corey's heart rate got a little too high. And so that's when my doctor finally made the call. Let's go ahead and do a C-section. All right, so all that's in my blog, so I won't get into all that, but basically we had a C-section. And I talk about the recovery in my blog. It was the worst for me. It was horrible, and I have a high pain tolerance. While at the hospital, this is probably day 2, I just had a gut feeling, and that's why it's very important, mommies, to go with your gut feeling, because I just had a gut feeling that I didn't have milk. I just felt like I didn't have milk. I don't know, it was just something. By day 2, like I said, I felt like I didn't have anything. I felt like Corey wasn't getting anything. Even the colostrum that they were talking about, I felt like Corey wasn't really getting enough of it. And she latched on. In my opinion, she was latched, but she was really, really fussy. And so that's another reason why I just figured, look, I don't think something's missing. So while I was at the hospital, I remember asking one of the lactation nurses, like, hey, if 1, Corey can't latch on, and 2, there's no milk right now, am I able to get formula? The hospital that I was at really did not want to push formula at all. They were so opposed to it. They wanted me to try my best to give Corey breast milk. And so day 2, Corey lost some weight, which is normal. I know it's normal that when they go, after they're born, they lose some weight. Great, fine. I was okay with that. By day 3 of me being day 3 of Corey being born, so I had Corey Saturday. Sunday, like I said, I felt like something was wrong. By Monday, Corey had lost a significant amount of weight. And one of the nurses was like, hey, well, it was a night nurse. The night nurse was like, hey, the morning nurse said that Corey had 2 poo-poo diapers and a couple of pee-pee diapers throughout the day. And I was like, no, Corey had 1 poo-poo diaper early in the morning, and she probably had literally 2 wet diapers. Like, her diaper has not been wet. I mean, we've changed it for the purpose of changing, but they haven't been wet. And so I was so pissed. It was the worst experience, because why is a nurse lying and saying that my daughter had such and such pee-pee and poo-poo diapers on her reports when my daughter didn't? So that had me pissed off at the hospital. And kind of stressed out, because now I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Is she supposed to have a bunch of pee-pee diapers? Is she supposed to have a bunch of poo-poo diapers? Like, how many is she supposed to have? And so the night nurse ended up telling me, okay, don't worry about it. I'm gonna get a lactation nurse here and see if everything's okay with the colostrum and the breast milk, because she is losing weight. Anyway, lactation nurse comes, the night one. She was the worst. She, first of all, sorry, I'm getting real excited, because it's coming back to me. She was pissed off, not pissed, but kind of like agitated at the fact that Corey was really fussy. And I'm like, well, she's really fussy because she's really hungry. And she's like, well, you're not pumping. I'm not gonna let you pump, and I really don't want you to do formula, so just keep trying to get her to latch. And I'm like, look, you're here, you're seeing her latching. And she's like, no, she's not latching. So Corey's now crying, and she's frustrated. I'm frustrated. And the nurse goes, the lactation nurse, she's like, get her to latch, I'll be back. Get her to calm down, I'll be back. And she leaves. Is she mad that Corey's fussy? First of all, you work with babies all the time, lactation nurse. How you mad that my daughter is fussy right now? And so I literally wanted to wait till she was off shift. At this point, it was like maybe 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And I'm delirious. Corey's delirious. My husband's delirious. And I'm just like, give me formula. So I called her in, and I was like, look, she's not latching. She's hungry. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. Give me formula. Like, it took this lady so long to finally say, okay. And I think I may have said, let me speak to like your manager, the nurse manager. I don't know what I said, but I got formula. I got it. She didn't even show me how to, even hell, unwrap the damn thing. Like, like you're the lactation nurse. I get that something's not happening here, but you could have, helped me with giving her the formula. Whatever. She gave me the bottles of formula, Infamil, and left. So I figured it out, gave Corey the formula. Another lactation nurse came, tried to help me with the latching process. Not happening. Corey's latching, but I guess she realized too, maybe you don't have anything. Now, she said to me, just because you're not getting anything here at the hospital doesn't mean when you get home it won't come in. Your supply may come in when you get home. So make sure you pump, pump, pump. She told me, you know, try to pump every 15 minutes or whatever. Try to get her to latch on every 15 minutes. And, you know, hopefully your supply will come in. Great. So now I go home with a couple samples of the Infamil formula. And now I'm like, all right, this is my homework. We're going to get this milk supply started. That way I don't have to pay for formula. And let's get it going. So every 15 minutes, every 15 to 20, I got her trying to latch on. Corey was not having it. It's like we got home and she got worse. Like, she didn't want to latch. She didn't want to do anything. She was just like, lady, if you don't get this nipple out my face because nothing is happening, give me this bottle of formula and let's get it going. The good thing about having formula or me not just being the only one that could provide milk for Corey is that my husband was able to help and give her some formula. So we literally got home so I went in Thursday, like I said, Thursday afternoon. We literally got home at maybe Wednesday night. Yeah, Wednesday really, really late because, you know, they want to charge you that extra day. So I got discharged mad late. So I got home Wednesday night. And I just, like I said, I was delirious. I was tired. My husband took over. I went to sleep. Woke up at like 5 and tried my best to continue with the whole pumping process and the latching process. Nothing worked. Nothing. Long story short, I Googled, I YouTubed, I looked for blogs. I did everything in my power to see how I could get this milk supply going. Like, I have big boobs. I've had big boobs all my life. So in my mind, I'm thinking these big boobs gotta be good for something. Nothing. I called the lactation nurse by Friday. Called her, well, not the one that I told you was getting on my nerves. I called another one who was very sweet. I called her and she was like, you know, just keep on pumping, keep trying every 15 minutes, make sure, massage, do this, do that, did all that, nothing. I Googled, they said, get this from Whole Foods, get this drop, get this pill, get this milk, get this cookie, all these things, eat oatmeal. I'm Haitian, y'all, so the Haitians were like, drink this tea, eat this fruit. I'm doing all of that. None of that worked. One of my friends came over. She bought me all these things from Whole Foods that was supposed to help with lactation. Didn't work. Drops, pills, like I said, tea, massage, everything did not work. We're now going on almost a week and a half of straight formula because nothing is working for me. Anyway, I go to my doctor, my OB. It was time for my appointment, and I tell her, look, there's nothing happening. I'm squeezing, I'm pumping, nothing. And she was, I love my OB. She was so sweet. I'm gonna prescribe these pills. Take them for 7 days. If nothing happens and you still do not have any breast milk, it's okay. And she basically said, you know, not all women have breast milk, and sometimes it could be a hormonal issue. It could be, who knows? And I eat pretty healthy. I work out, like I drink lots of water. So I'm like, is it me? And you know, like I said, she said it could be a hormone issue. And she said, you may not have breast milk now, but maybe the next time you have a child, you'll have lots of breast milk then. So she was one of the only people to make me feel okay and not ashamed about not having breast milk. But let me tell you, after that, it was like everybody, it was like, you ain't got no breast milk? Where the breast milk at? What you feeding her? What you giving her? What's this formula? Why formula? And da-da-da-da. And then I'm looking at all these beautiful posts. Okay, they're beautiful. On Instagram about normalize the boobs and normalize breast milk. And why are we covering up? No need to cover up. Covering up is beautiful. Not covering up is beautiful. And all these beautiful pictures of motherhood and breasts and breast milk and exclusive breastfeeding and non-exclusive breastfeeding. It was beautiful. But hello, little old me had nothing. And I didn't see posts that said, hey, formula's popping, or we got bottles popping over here. Like, I saw nothing to make me feel like, okay, well, let's normalize the formula that's popping over here, because I have nothing. And it's not that I wanted to give her formula. Hell, I would love to give her breast milk, but I didn't have any. I was looking for someone to validate, you know, me not having any breast milk. And I had friends that validated, of course. I have beautiful friends that did, and I had a lot of friends that told me, you know, they kind of only had a supply for a week or two, or they had something for like a month or two, and they had to substitute with formula. I had some friends that said they gave both because they didn't have that big of a supply. Like I said, I had no supply. Like, not a drop of milk went into a bottle. Like, not a drop, like nothing. And I didn't engorge, because that's another thing. They're like, oh my God, you're gonna engorge, girl, so you better try your best to pump it out, because you're gonna engorge. Nothing. Like, I didn't even engorge. I had nothing, guys. So I say all this to say it's okay. Hopefully you can look at my video if you're someone who didn't have breast milk, or just chose not to breastfeed, I guess. But especially those who just didn't have a supply, like I didn't have a supply. Hopefully you're looking at this video and I'm making you feel a little bit better about yourself, because let me tell you, I know for sure that put me into postpartum depression. Like, I know this. Like, I was in a funk for a very long time, and I think it's mainly because of that. Like, I had family friends come over, and friends, and just, you know, oh, you're not giving her breast milk? You know, like that look, like, oh, you're not breastfeeding? What? You know, and that look, every time I saw it, it did something to me. My husband was so supportive, and he, you know, I would tell him, like, you know, so-and-so said this, or so-and-so gave me a look. Hell, we even went to the pediatrician for maybe Corey's like 1 month appointment. And, oh, this was when I was like, So we're at the pediatrician for Corey's 1 month appointment. And this man who came with his kid for an appointment, so it's just him and a kid, no mom, him and his kid. And he's looking at Corey like, oh, how old is she? And I was like, 1 month or 3 weeks, 2 weeks, however old Corey was at the time. She was really, really, really small. And she was very brand new. And I was like, oh, she's only da-da-da. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he goes, oh, she's so cute. And then he goes, so are you breastfeeding? Excuse me, sir. Like, when did men start asking women, are you breastfeeding? Like, every time I got that question, I felt so, like, oh, like you all up in my, like, hello? Like, you're all up in my shirt, you know? Like, that's just how I felt every single time. And I got that question a lot. But when I would get it from men, and I got it from a couple men, but most of the men that I got it from were men that I knew. And even still, it was kind of like, But this random man at the doctor's office asking me, and my breastfeeding was just, I was just like, all right, I'm done. Anyway, I was in a funk for a very long time. And like I said, a lot of friends, supportive friends, who just told me it's okay. A lot of family members who said it's okay. And then finally I talked to my mom, and she's like, oh, I ain't had breast milk either when I had you. And I'm, Mom, like, why didn't you tell me this? Now, granted, I don't know if that's why I don't have any. I don't know if it's a biological thing. I don't know if it's something that's in the genes passed on, or maybe it's just me. I don't know. But for a very long time, I felt guilty and shamed. I know a lot of articles that I read talked about, you know, the bonding that when you give breast milk does, like the bonding and the skin to skin and all this stuff. And I just remember thinking, like, so I don't have breast milk, that means I'm not bonding with my child? Or does that mean our bond is any less. And how do you know? Oh, the whole bonding thing kind of was, that threw me off, because I was like, I don't want to not have a strong bond because of something that I cannot help, you know? And that kind of bothered me for a while. So I tried my best. I did a lot of skin to skin with her. But even with that, Corey was very, one, colicky, and two, she had reflux. And so skin to skin and throwing up on me just wasn't, you know, not, I ain't want all that. And so it was always like, okay, hurry up, give her a bib, give her another bib, because she was always like, you know, throwing up. And so, but I did a lot of skin to skin, and I tried my best to bond as much as I thought I could. But for me, bonding is just laying there with her, you know, talking to her. Bonding to me doesn't mean a breast that's providing milk. Because I know that when I gave her a bottle of formula and I fed her and I looked down into her eyes, she looked back. So to me, that was more important than anything else. Thank you guys for listening to my long rant, because this topic is a serious one for me. Like I said, it's on my blog. I go in depth, but I feel like I just went into much detail now. So, hey, if you want to read the blog, you can. Or you could just listen to what I just said. But like I said, this is for all the moms out there who don't have breast milk, okay? If you ain't got it, it's okay. As long as your baby is fed and nurtured and loved, that is all that matters. So thank you guys. You'll be seeing more of me on the tube. You'll be seeing more videos. And thanks for tuning in. Bye.